So it's 1:15 on Tuesday, and I'm just left Boomerang Bay for the 180 nautical mile trip to Cape Leveque, and then a 108 nautical mile to Broome.
Don't feel nothing bad.
So I've got about a 12 knot westerly, which is perfect for going south or southwest. I've got to make the most of it. So there shouldn't be any engine while this wind keeps up. I've got 85 litres, so I've got basically 85 hours. So I've got heaps of fuel. It's Tuesday still, 5:30 PM WA time. Sun setting. I've had my 5 o'clock sundowner, cheese and bickies. And there's a 10 knot true westerly. And I'm travelling southwest, so it's right on my nose. It's not quite strong enough, so I have to have my motor going. Every now and again you get a few extra bigger waves, not that they're very big, and the boat stops. So I'm going along at about 4.5 knots. Good morning everyone. Another new day, Wednesday 9th of August, and the moon is going lower in the west sky, so I'm heading southwest, and the very slight breeze over my starboard stern, which makes it northerly. Over here is Champigny Island, quite a long island. I managed to get my spinnaker up, but the wind has turned more on the side, so it's not really suitable for a symmetrical spinnaker. So it's Wednesday, 7 AM, and as I pass the south end of Champigny Island with its little beacon up top, tide is in my direction, which is good. So I'm doing 6 knots with the engine, main and spinnaker up. Well, it's 10 AM Wednesday, not a breath around. The only wind is by the movement of my yacht. The sea is just almost a mirror. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. You wouldn't dream about it, would you? I did see some tuna jumping before, so I put my line out, but they didn't kamikaze onto it. So I've just been lying down, closing my eyes, resting my body. Well, it's Wednesday, 2:30 PM, and the breeze, it's only 10 knots, true, has come in from the southwest, persistent, and that was my direction, so I've decided to head south, and I'll have to go below some islands and then I can head west. It's 4:45 Wednesday. I'm going past the Macleay Islands. I caught a big Spanish mackerel before, somewhere between 12 and 1400 mil long. I managed to get it to the boat and I lost my gaff in the process, but I managed to get the hook out of its jaw and hopefully it swam away, but it was too big for me and just too damn heavy to bring aboard. Well, the end of another day, being Wednesday. That's it. Good night, everybody. And that was 6:40 p.m. Well, it's 7 a.m. Thursday. And last night I decided to call into this area, park behind a rock or two for a bit of rest. Wind was blowing up a bit and I didn't know what it was going to be like out in the open, so this was the safer method. So I don't know what the wind's doing today, but we'll give it a go. So I'm in these islands where there's up to 9-metre tides. I think it's only about 6 metres today. And where I parked the yacht last night, it was showing 10 metres on the navionics, but it was actually 30 metres. So under moonlight I gingerly moved in quietly, slowly, and I actually anchored in 9 metres in the end, but it was on rubble, so I would like to have stayed here another day, but I didn't want my chain to get caught around the rubble, so decided to lift and move on today. Quite impressive, these rocks, whatever they are. The brown bit above the water, that's the tidal height. And there is a 450 foot long cargo ship, heavy lift cargo ship. Don't know what that's there for. This is a pearl farming culture area, so maybe they're doing something with that. So I've got 45 litres of diesel left, plus another 55 litres of diesel, basically 50 hours of motoring, so that should get me to Broome. There's quite strong currents around here. I can see big whirlpools that I went through before. The tide is at its low point, and when I turn right up ahead I don't know if I'm going to get tide with or against me. The challenges that one has to face, all in a day's work. So I'm going through this channel and the tide is against me, so I'm doing 2.8, 2.9 knots, but it's flat calm. It's just a slight breeze behind me. Well, I'm halfway through the channel and I've speeded up, gone from 2.8 knots to 5.8 current. big eddies all around me. Turns the boat a little bit, but nothing to worry about. And I saw a whale before. Right, I'll start again. I saw this rather large black object floating on the water. And I thought, oh, that's a big crocodile. Very large crocodile. So I went around and changed my course a bit. Oh, I'm going into one of these big eddies. Oh, that one took me. And I was looking at it, photographing with a big camera, and all of a sudden I saw some water shoot up from one end of it. Turns out to be a whale, and I think there was 2 adult males and possibly a small one. Then they dived and I saw them 10 minutes later 100 metres away. It's very deep here, 50 metres before, 52 metres, 43 metres now, below my keel. Well, it's 1:30 PM, Thursday, and I'm approaching Cape Levique. And I've suddenly got the tide running with me, wind against the tide, so it's a little bit bouncy. So hopefully it doesn't get any windier. I'm doing 6.5, 6.6 knots now. Turn the motor off. So it's good sailing. Well, that 6.5 knots lasted 5 minutes, and now the tide is against me. So I'm back down to 3.5 knots. Well, in the distance is Cape Levique. I go up there and turn left and go down about another 5 miles to a Thomas Bay. Well, it's now 5:30 on Thursday. I tried to pull into a bay back there, but it was just too shallow and too exposed. Didn't seem to look like what was on Navionics. But as I was pulling into the bay, the cogs on my autopilot stripped. So I'm now having to motor sail 8 hours down to another bay. Hopefully that'll be okay. And then on to Broome. Well, that's goodbye to Pender Bay. It's 10 AM Friday. And a easterly, I think it is. So I'm heading to Broome. 22 hours. With no autopilot. Well, it's almost 2 o'clock and it's almost the glass out. Wind has practically dropped right out now. Well, it's 5 PM Friday and the wind is dead ahead of me for a couple of miles, and then I can turn off the wind. I've got 52 miles to Broome. Well, this is Cable Beach, certainly one end of it, and as I pan around there's heaps and heaps of vessels. It's a bit like Bums, whatever it is, in Surfers Paradise. So you can see there's a bit of tide running with me on this big yellow block here. I can see the tide hitting against it, trail behind it. So this is good, this is free. Must be safe enough for all these vessels to be here, so chances of where I'm going.
Since the flood.